Hello to the channel, welcome back to another lineup builder. Hope everyone's enjoying the absolute carnage of international friendlies. There's no doubt about it. There's a huge element of carnage, but I must say I've watched a few of the friendlies, and it's been good to have some guys running and at least have a chance. So I know there'll be the Ramoners, or the people who moan all the time about Sorare, but that's what it is. So have a quick look at what's been happening midweek, and then we'll do the preview, and we'll hopefully select some other winning lineups. So got some decent chances running, to be honest. Alistair Johnson to come through here. Mayakawa played, which was great. Ida with the header. Actually with the header. So this one could come in the top five, which is pretty nice. All-Star Rare was looking really, really good. How Griezmann never scored or got an assist, I'll never know. He hit the post, put one in Mbappe's toe. He missed one, which I thought was probably a big chance missed, actually, but go up to Mike still correct that. Etienne Vassen conceded for Suriname as well, so quite close to a really, really good result, but if we do hold on for a tier 2, that'd be quite good. The other one that we're sort of waiting on, under 23 there, so Doku delivering from the bench was really nice. Again, sometimes you look at the lineups, you think this is just completely snookered, and then guys come on, etc. Because there's loads of rotation, obviously. So William Saliba come on at half time, put in a nice amount of AA. So we're hoping that Verbruggen plays tonight. He has been declared as number one, which means he probably won't, because that's the way it works in international friendlies. It's absolutely bonkers. So on to the weekend, what we've got running here. Belgium against Luxembourg. I said, watch the game Luxembourg against France. Luxembourg are actually pretty organised. They never really cause much of a threat going forward. So, in terms of clean sheet, etc., if you're going to go for Belgium, that might be the way ahead. The issue is getting the correct sort of goalkeeper, defender, etc. That's the problem, right? England against Iceland. So yeah, I think they should beat Kerry Katona. That'll be easy. Spain against Northern Ireland. Yeah, I mean Spain have got lots of talent as well. Didn't see any of the game against Andorra, but loads and loads of talent. Although they played guys like Raya, etc., Kubarsi, who normally you'd expect, Unai Simon, etc., to play. So will they go to their stronger team for the next game? Holland against Iceland as well. They also play in Iceland. How does that work? Iceland will be knackered. Let me double check that. Yeah, I think Iceland have got like a double game week here. Get your Iceland stacks lined up and your Kerry Katona puns. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a quick look at what's happening with Holland later, because again, you would think that if there's any rotations for the second game, managers will be progressing towards what's a bit stronger. Germany against Greece, again, pretty similar. What have we got out with that? So we've got International, who are playing again against Delphin. Never heard of them before. France against Canada. So, I mean, all these top fixtures here, you're talking over two projected expected goals and, 50% and above in terms of expected clean sheets. Ones at like 67, 68, that's really, really high, which is quite interesting. We've got some other stuff on the go here as well. So Nigeria against South Africa. Argentina against Ecuador. I'm not going to sing the song today because I want Argentina to win. Hungary against Israel. Hope Hungary pump them. All their efforts in the war and that. Brazil against Mexico. That doesn't look like a great one for Brazil, but Mexico lost 4-0, I think, last night to Uruguay. So could be interesting. Might be one of those that actually Mexico don't really have that strong a squad at the moment. Certainly I looked through the squad and I didn't recognise a lot of the names, which is a wee bit unusual because usually I know them through Sorare. Scotland wise, so there was a tweet put out, the opening training session was Gunn, Jack Hendry, Hanley, Kieran Tierney, Ralston, Gilmore, McGregor, Robertson, McGinn, Christie and Adams. So that seems as if it's quite close to who you would have thought would start at the Euros. McTominay, you would expect maybe to come into that for sure, but I don't know how fit he is. That's the problem. McCrory done okay in the first friendly, etc. So that's some names to sort of take account of. I'm not saying that's definitely going to be the lineup or whatever, but I do think that Angus Gunn will come back in. Now, I don't do the predictions here, but you'll see the expert for Scotland has got Angus Gunn in at 80%. So that is pretty interesting. So let's have a look and see what's on. I know there's been a few sort of complaints, etc., about the fact that there's All-Star on and you can only enter one All-Star team. I guess that does seem a wee bit weird considering it's a weekend. I don't know how the games line up compared to what was on midweek and what was on the weekend. So a natural solution might have been to have two All-Star teams. It's not available, so we'll just have to pick the strongest possible and then go into the caps as well. And then we've got under 23 lineups over and above that. Game week info-wise, this is a new thing that Egal's added to the sheet, which is ultra helpful, to be honest. So you'll see the percentage reward chances here based on the amount of lineups entered and also the card rewards, etc. So All-Star Unique, under 23 Super Rare and under 23 Unique are the highest at the moment. But again, a lot of these tournaments fill up relatively late as well. All-Star Super Rare is looking quite good just now in terms of the number of entrants. So that'll be one I'll be targeting myself if I can get a team in. Cap 270 Super Rares kind of similar. So let's actually start with All-Star Super Rare and then we'll see where we go. Bit of fun, right? I mean, just treating this as basically a bit of fun. If you pick up some cards or whatever, brilliant. Hang on. I was just trying to close down that info on the right hand side, but it looks as if it's... Oh, that's quite good. I quite like that wee table now, so you can actually flip it over and you can check the rules and you can check the rewards as well. So kind of nice feature there. Right, so what we're doing goalkeeper-wise, Alisson. So yeah, the only thing I'm thinking here is, it's a friendly, right? So there could be a school of thought where maybe Bento or something plays. So I think I'm going to go with Vassen. It's a controversial selection leaving out Alisson, but Vassen's a competitive game. Looks like he's secured the place, so I think got to go with him. Maybe we'll play Alisson in captive 40 or something. Defender wise, so got a few options here. Again, I can't really see past putting in Big Verge. So I'll see what happens in terms of him playing tonight, but I just don't really see why they wouldn't play him. It's a warm up game, right? And it's about getting everybody all together and all that sort of stuff. So midfield wise, so again, who do we just go with? The kind of, will Declan Rice play? It's a difficult one again. It's Iceland, you would imagine England at home, that's going to be quite a good game for them. Now, Declan Rice, was he left out last game? Let me see. Let me double check that. Looks as if maybe he was actually. Declan Rice. Yeah, never played last time, so I'm going to play Rice. He's going to get a game before the tournament, right? You would imagine he's going to have to play something before the tournament. So it would make sense. Luis Palma's got a game. Interesting. Might just keep him for the under 23s though. Griezmann played 80 minutes, so I don't know about that. That's where I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking, let's go with Trossard. Just because Trossard came on and scored, right? But you would think that there's going to be an element of rotation, so he's going to rotate in. That's my thinking behind that. I could still use Griezmann, right? Is he going to play both of the games? That's the real conundrum. Or do I go with somebody who I think's a bit safer to start? Who would be safer to start? Well, I think I would go for Callum McGregor. Just think from the point of view of getting minutes. He came on and played 20 minutes, I think, against Gibraltar, so I think that makes sense. I don't think really got any strong uniques or anything here to play. So I think go with Declan Rice as a captain. Just go double check out actually, see who else I've got available. Eo Tanaka, dodgy. Norway against Denmark's not a particularly good game either, so I think we'll go with something like that. So that's a really strong lineup. I mean, I do like that. We'll have to check a lot on team news and all that jazz, but the team's been saved. Awesome. Right, let's also pick an all-star rare team as well, and then we'll go into the caps, under 23s, and all that jazz. So, all-star rare, so actually got the coverage of the South Korean game this time. A bit frustrating that one wasn't covered midweek, right? Because, yeah, well, it's okay saying now they won 7-0, but yeah, a bit frustrating it wasn't covered midweek. Vassen an option as well, still. Korea against China, Zhou Yun was like really been in really awesome form, and I don't see much of a change there from the point of view of it's a game that's covered. And, what am I trying to say? It's a qualifier. There we go, got it. So I don't think there'll be much sort of messing about there in terms of the team. That's my point there. In terms of defence, I really like the look of Trent, by the way. I think he's kind of put himself at the forefront of that position beside Declan Rice. That would be my sort of reading of it. Got Akanji at 70% to start, Schlotterbeck 40. That's interesting. I think he was given a bit of extra time after the Champions League final. So I think actually I'm going to use Andy Robertson in this one. Just think, in all honesty, that I think he's going to play as captain. So he's going to play. I think we're going to go really, really strong with this lineup as well, because it's the All-Star, right? And it's the best rewards and everything too. So I think we're going to be going with like Kevin De Bruyne, etc. So De Bruyne did play midweek at 85, I think, but he came off at half time. Also, Bruno Fernandes came on at half time. Argentina against Ecuador, are they going to keep Messi under wraps, or are they going to just let him loose? It's interesting. I just don't see how you can leave him out, right? He could come on for 10 minutes and still do a 70. So there we go. And I'm going to go for De Bruyne captain, and the reason for that, it's a nice sort of problem to have, if that makes sense, but Luxembourg played quite defensive against France, and I think that it will shape up pretty similar. They took a hiding against Portugal 9-0 earlier on in the qualifying campaign. Looks as if they've tightened up a bit since then. I'm going to pick some under 23s, etc., and then I'll probably just pick the rest sort of off sort of camera, as it were. But yeah, hopefully you get some sort of good insights from this anyway. So under 23s, I'm going to put in an under 23 super rare entry. I think the main reason is there won't be a lot of choice, and I think it's just worth having a bit of a punt at it. Will Okoye get a game for Nigeria? I don't know, but he's been called up and he's been playing in Serie A, so that's definitely possible that he's going to get a game. We'll see. Sugawara, I think, is the natural selection. He played in the last game, played pretty well and came off early, so it's not going to be knackered or anything, I don't think, so that kind of makes sense. Ferdi Kadıoğlu missed the last game, so he's a doubt. Vermeeren played, I don't know if he's going to get rotated out now. Orkin Kokcu came on last game, so I think actually he's probably a good shout to start. I think Palma's one of Honduras' best players, so it makes sense for him to play. And then Alvarez needs game time, right? So I think Julian Alvarez kind of makes sense there too. I don't know if Palma takes all the sets and everything for Honduras, but he does get goals and assists in Bermuda. I mean, that's quite tempting, so we're going to go with that. Again, I don't know about the goalkeeper. It's going to be touch and go there. I don't know whether Olsen will get any of those games for Iceland as well, so not really much point second guessing it, I suppose. Under 23 rare, we'll pick an under 23 rare team as well. So I'm not sure we've got much at limited level. That's the honest problemo. So we've got Keizuki Osako, who never played today. So he may well come back in, although it was a qualifier. So if they're rotating them, they're rotating them. But Mayakawa might just be a new number one. Olsen, I'm not sure on. Pool's camp doesn't usually play. So I think it's going to have to. I think Verbruggen will start the last game before the tournament if he's number one. That would make the most sense to me. In terms of France against Canada, I think Saliba will start again. So Upamecano, I think, had a bit of a groin niggle, come off at half time. Antonio Silva probably a good chance starting again as well. Looks like he's probably going to be playing in that position in the back four because it's his natural sort of position for his club as well. So I say France against Canada is probably easier than Portugal against Croatia as well, right? So I think Saliba goes in as a natural selection there. I've got a Phil Foden listed. There's no particular reason for it apart from thought it might be a good idea to actually sell one, have the other one available, and give myself some other options. So if anybody's looking for Phil Foden, you can have it as long as you pay the appropriate amount of cash. If not, you're not getting them. So we've got South Korea in really good form. I'm really tempted by Kang In Lee here, honestly. I think like he's quite a good shout. It's difficult to put him in ahead of some of these real sort of top guys, but yeah, I just think that's like fixture wise, that's pretty good. Jeremy Doku, I think, is definitely a shout as well. Played pretty well when he came on. Never started, which means more likely to be rotated in. Will Foden be back for Iceland? I guess if he's been given extra time off, he'll probably get game time against Iceland. That's an interesting thing. Vinicius, will he play so soon after the Champions League final against Mexico? Nico Williams again didn't start the last game. Loads of different options here. I think I'm actually just going to go with Luis Palma. Been slagging him a lot for Celtic this season, but I'd imagine he will be a main man for Honduras. Tough one, really, but yeah, and Doku just to run riot again. I mean, the guy who played for Luxembourg got an absolute roasting from Mbappe. In fact, the whole Luxembourg defence got a roasting from Mbappe. The guy is just so good. Real Madrid are going to be frightening next season. Frightening. Let's do a cap as well because it's always quite interesting to see if there's any sort of real cap gems there, and then that'll do us. But yeah, Real Madrid are going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Luxembourg, if they don't seem to have much depth, which is hardly surprising, but it was mentioned that they had a few injuries, etc. there too. So goalkeeper wise, who have we got that's quite reasonable? Could go with the old Scotland defence actually, so could play that in here in the cap 240. That's interesting. Crepo is a Canada goalie, but France not a good fixture. Will Kakir come in? Robin Olsen seems to be the number one for Sweden, but again, friendlies, do they give somebody else a chance? Stefan Fry is definitely an option, although playing away from home. So I'm going to go with Angus Gunn, and that gives us a chance to play our Scottish defender as well. So go for the old defensive stack. Andy Robertson we've used. Porteous at 70% is interesting. I don't think there's really much mucking about from Clark, although he wasn't in that sort of training type sort of mould that I was talking about earlier. 58, I don't know if that's maybe a bit touch too high anyway, so Harry Maguire doesn't look as if he's going to make it. Guess we could play Alisson and Marquinhos. Yeah, I could keep Scotland for the 270 or something. Alisson and Marquinhos. Again, it's just guessing whether they're going to start. That's, I don't know who's going to start. So, no one does. that's the reality of the situation. Midfield wise, let's see if there's anybody that's up the top of the proposed charts that's got a lower expected score. So James Maddison's away to be the main man at his roast. He's not in the squad anymore, so he definitely not be playing. Daniel Edelman, that's an interesting one. Sposlai, there's a good one. So a guy who always features for Hungary. So Zobslai, I can't say his name right. So we've got an average of 48 left, so we're going to still have to be quite creative, but Palma would have been an interesting one for this as well. Taki wasn't even in the squad today, so I'm not really sure on his prospects. Diogo Jota started the last game, so I guess that makes him kind of less likely to start, although the fact that he actually featured was good. Ferran Torres also started, but again back to 20%, so looks like they'll be going quite strong. Nusa came on and got an assist, so will he get his chance? That could be a good shout actually. Again, it's a difficult game against Denmark, but he's capable of getting an assist against anybody. And good advantage, he's only 37, so gives us a good chance to put in somebody who's really pretty strong here. Again, we've used our all-star up, so I'd probably put in Carles Gil and put him in as El Capitano. So that's definitely a hugely capable team of hitting the 340. We'll see if it comes to fruition. So there we go. Preview of the weekend done. Lots of friendlies, etc. I know there's been a few people having a bit of a whinge about the fact that the MLS games, for example, are playing against all these friendlies, but there's only 4 MLS games on, so it doesn't qualify for Challenger to be opened. Is it perfect? Maybe it's nearly there. I mean, I think looking at the prizes available, etc., it's pretty good. If you had a lot of these games just on their own, like 4 MLS games, the prizes would be really pretty poor as well. So what would you rather? A clear run at it, all that type of stuff. But I think, in all honesty, Sorare have done a good job with this stuff. You see, you've got everything available for the rivals, stuff for the Euros. There's a warm-up one for the friendlies, people to get used to the rules. There's been lots of good marketing, I think, so much so that some of the people who are pro other sites are on complaining and muting Sorare and things. Well, that must mean that it's working if other people are getting annoyed. Not naming any names there. But there we go. So we'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, then drop them in the replies. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you're playing, we'll end in customary fashion. Good luck and go fuck.